Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Guys, it's Vanity Ezel back at another Thera song overview. So we enjoyed them, like, comment, subscribe, and we'll start, shall we? Yes, we have now made it to our 5th and final trial song. There is a second one that we have not uploaded yet, and the reason why is because we have not finished the art for yet. But soon the art will be finished, and I'll be able to do a song overview on that one. But for now, let's focus on the final song overview for number 5, Blinding Light, used by Kyoshi Makato in the anime. And yeah, Kyoshi Makato's name. I forgot what his last name was for a second. And basically it's just a song full of angels, and it's like Saron, except less aggressive in terms of the amount of creature you can get on the field, but a lot more aggressive in terms of the power you can have in total. So let's go ahead and get this started, shall we? You can see what I mean. So first up, we must discuss our ace card, Michael, Heaven's Advent, a level 3 with a gift icon with 250 power and 1 damage, and is the ace creature of Kyoshi Makato. So, Michael, Heaven's Advent sets basically the basis of this song. Bigger numbers than Saron, and does almost the exact same thing, except slightly different, which does matter depending on your playstyle. So for Michael, when he enters the field without paying a cost, you may draw a card and special summon an angel from your hand. Okay, so here's the pluses and minuses to that. First up, let's talk about the pluses. On summon, for free, you get a draw and a special summon of any angel you want, and it can be himself, and then you can use him to do it again. And then possibly get a third one out of it. That's only happened once, but still. So, already we're in the good ends of this. And he has 250 power, which, by the way, is the highest base number in the game. More or less. Or at least to you guys is more or less the highest base number in the game. So, that's already really good. But then the downsides to him, he's an on-place. So afterwards, he's a vanilla. But that's not really something you have to worry about unless the game goes on that long. So all around, Michael Heaven's Advent, while yes, only being useful when he's placed, definitely helps you advance the board because he just allows you to do pretty much whatever you want. Get extra creatures, even though you shouldn't be able to summon more than 1 creature since the thing that's entering the field because it's level 3, but you can for some reason. And then you just get to abuse your opponent with it, and it's basically like Saron, like I said, where it's just a free extra creature. Except downside is, Saron will have less power than this because Michael's on the board, but at the same time, Michael won't be able to get out nearly as many creatures as Saron can, so that's always the thing. So either way, Michael's still a really good card, though. Because of everything he does, he doesn't cost pay for his skills, meaning you can use pay for his support cards and other cards' abilities. Saron Michael's just a good card, so 4 of. Then we have Cherubim. He is my least favorite level 1 in this entire game, probably, or at least in Lyrica, but he's still a good card nonetheless. So level 1, 50 power, 1 damage. When this creature is used to guard, it gains 50 power for every 2 creatures on your field. So if you have a total of 5 creatures on your field, 4 or 5 basically, it basically gets a plus 100 shield, so it's 150. So it is the equivalent to a heal trigger, which is pretty nice. So if you're going on the all-out attack to try to match a Saron number, or maybe you're just trying to finish off your opponent quickly, but you failed and they're going on the counterattack for you, you can quickly use this guy as basically a heal trigger and defend yourself without your opponent being able to hit. All-around Cherubim is good for that reason because he's an extra shield, but he also has another ability which works when he's on the field, where when another angel creature enters your field, he gains 50 power for the turn. So really good. It stacks. It's just like Spirit's Blessing, except to only himself. So if he's the first creature you summon this entire turn, that means you can go full out on the advancement with your other creatures, and then he, whether they're special summoned or not, he'll gain plus 50 power for each one. And if you manage to fill up your board somehow, he'll become a total of 300 power. Somehow, wait, no, he wouldn't. He'll become a 250 power, becoming even with Michael Heaven's Advent. So not only is he good on the defense for being able to save you from your opponent comebacking after you kind of went all out on your aggressive, but he will also be really good on the aggressive as long as he was like the first one you summon that turn. So all around Cherubim is really good. I like him for that reason alone. I mean, I don't like him at all, but if there was a reason I had to like him, it would be there for that. So 4 combos with Cherubim Child. Then we have our Safeguard and Guardian Angel. So standard Safeguard, you can only have 4 of them in the deck and discard them from your hand. Stop 1 attack from your opposing creature. It's just that. I gotta admit, I like the arts. Definitely one of my favorite arts that we have seen so far out of cards. And it's just that. That's all it is. Just a Guardian Angel. It's just a Safeguard. Take that as you will. 4 of. Then we have Virtue of Patience. So, Virtue of Patience, when Thera first started, and when I was test playing for these, I did not like Virtue of Patience. Just because its skill, 1, wasn't limited to a certain use, but 2, it wasn't that powerful. It felt like it wasn't that useful. But for some reason, after we gave it an art and I started seeing it more and more, I kind of began to realize that how useful Virtue of Patience actually is. So he's a level 1 with 50 power and 1 damage. Pay 2 up to twice per turn. Pacify 1 opposing creature until the end of their next turn. Pacify is just it can't attack and its abilities can't be activated. So basically, it's a vanilla. It is a vanilla. It cannot do anything. It stays rest. Well, I mean, it can stand, but it can't do anything, and it just stays there. It's basically Mega Colony. If Mega Colony can nullify skills, oh wait, they can. They have Cradles. Well, Cradles and Paralyze at the same time. So all around, Virtue of Patience is just a really good thing. Like, it helps slow your opponent down, especially because this song, since it's so similar to Saron, basically means it has a bunch of low-powered creatures. The highest you have outside of your two main creatures are 50 power. Everything else has 50 power, which basically means that if you can't draw Michael or your backup ace, technically speaking, you are sitting on worse numbers than Saron, which is where Patience comes in to help stall until you draw into Michael or until you draw into that backup creature. All around, Virtue of Charity, I mean, not Virtue of Charity, sorry, Virtue of Patience is really helpful for stall plays. Granny's only twice per turn, but he's still good, so 4 of. She, it, they. Then we have Virtue of Charity. So Virtue of Charity is a level 1 with 50 power and 1 damage. Pay 1 and all of your angel creatures, including herself, gain 50 power until the end of turn. So, pretty good, pretty good, pretty good. It's not much per turn, so you can keep paying until you can't pay anymore, and just get a bunch of power. So that's nice. So when you're on your Michael turn, you can just make everyone that isn't the Michael hit for even higher numbers, making it more dangerous and making it harder for your opponent to defend, especially because Michael is free for his abilities. Or, just like for Virtue of Patience, if you're trying to stall out till you get Michael, what you can do is you can use a Virtue of Charity in order to gain more power for your other creatures. Like, for example, Patience and Charity and the next creature we're about to go over all have 50 power. So what you can do is you can pay maybe 2 or 3 and bring all of your creatures up to a total of 200 power, making it so you have 3 level 1s all with 200 power, basically the equivalent to a lot of level 3s. And that's really good, because that basically means all your angels are going in for the rush. Really helps for a rush song, honestly, because you can just build it around a bunch of level 1s and then just rush them down with that. But it also just helps for stalling until you can draw into your Michael. So all around, Virtue of Charity is nice, helps compete with the opponent while you wait for that ace card, or it can be used in a rush tactic and beat your opponent down with it. All around, nice level 1, 4 of. Then we have Virtue of Kindness. The definition of, if you are greedy, it could come back to bite you hard. So for his ability, it's pay 2 once per turn, draw 2 cards, also level 1 with 50 power and 1 damage, by the way. Then you may discard 1. And if you don't discard, your opponent may draw 1. So 1, they don't have to draw if they don't want to. But basically, if you choose not to discard, because you don't have to if you don't want to, but if you choose not to discard, they get to draw if they want to. And that card could possibly be something that helps them survive your rush this turn, or maybe something that helps them counter you next turn. For example, maybe an ace creature that can destroy all your board at once. Yes, there is a card like that that exists. I will not tell you what it does, and all you're getting is that it can nuke a board. But yeah, it's just that. So, like, Virtue of Kindness can definitely be a card that saves you, because the 2 draws could always be helpful. But if you don't discard, it could be the thing that screws you over, because your opponent might draw something that would help them win in a comeback. Or maybe the card you discard might help screw you over, because maybe that's something you will need in the later game, even if it doesn't look like it then. That's just how the card game rolls. So, as they say, it's like those cookie crumbles. Either way, Virtue of Kindness is a really nice level 1, though. He does help for the support tactics, and he belongs to the floor for that reason. Then we have our final creature in Raphael, Voice of Healing, your second strongest thing outside of Michael. The second you lose Michael or this, you basically have to rely on Charity to get your power numbers, otherwise you're basically dead. So, Voice of Healing, Raphael, is a level 2 with a gift icon, 150 power, 1 damage. This card cannot be special summoned, so you can't combo with Michael or the card we're going to go over next. So that's sad, but the reason that's like that is because pay 2, when he enters the field, or it enters the field, you heal a damage. So, just get a... well, not technically a free heal, it's a pay 1 to heal, technically speaking, because you can just heal one of the face down damages. So, yeah, that's why it's like that. You don't want to be able to combo it with Michael, because if you combo it with Michael, that essentially makes us a little bit too good. Because if it was allowed to be special summon, that means you can just keep looping it to the board with other effects, and then you can just keep healing. So, yeah, that's why it's not a special summonable. But that's still pretty good. Worst case scenario, if you need it to help stall out your opponent, because maybe you haven't seen a Michael yet, and you need to like reduce your damage because you've gotten too high on damage, you can use Raphael, Voice of Healing to reduce it, and maybe you can combo it with stuff like Virtue of Patience and Charity to help stop the opponent's attacks or increase your creature's power to at least match theirs. All around, Raphael, Voice of Healing is definitely a nice stall card. It helps. The only downside is you can't special summon him, but it's not really a bad thing for the next card. Well, by the way, that's why we run Raphael 4, but it's not really a bad thing that you can't special summon him, because the next card is really good and you don't want to be able to special summon him, which is Call to Arms. Call to Arms, in my opinion, is one of the most broken spells we have ever made in this game. And what I mean by broken is I don't mean like it breaks the game to an unimaginable extent. No, I'm just saying something it can lead to, a really funny combo, is really good for what it is. So, again, not broken. It's just really funny and really good. but it involves a lot of luck to happen. So first up, Call to Arms. Pay 1. Reveal cards on the top of your song until you find an angel creature you can special summon, so not this, and special summon it and shuffle the remaining cards back to your song, and the melee's Call to Arms once per turn. Now you may be wondering, what is this combo I'm referring to? Here's what it is. Summon Michael, draw a card, call anything you want. Call to Arms. Pay 1. Reveal the top cards. CA Michael. Call the Michael. Says Michael's on it once per turn. Draw. Call another creature. If you find a way to normal summon another creature this turn, even though you already normal summoned your Michael, guess what? That means you have a total of 5 creatures on your board for the cost of, technically it would be pay 2, because there's a way to get another creature out on the board. So, exactly that. It's just BS. It's good. It can get you a board out of nowhere, and I just find it fun, and I love Call to Arms so much when I get to pull it off. If I can't pull it off, it's a little bit disappointing, but it's definitely a fun combo to see happen, and I play this card just to see that happen, so 4 of. Then we have Veto. So Veto is our trap card. By paying 1, when your opponent activates a creature's ability or casts a spell that targets your creature, negate the ability of the card used. So, if they tried destroying your creature via an effect, like such as Michael, because even though Michael's a vanilla after on place, it still has 250 power, which is something you don't want to mess with. So obviously they're going to try to destroy it by effects, whether it's by spell or creature. As long as it wasn't by a trap that does it, you can immediately nullify it with Veto, but they still have to pay the cost for it, meaning they wasted a card in their hand, and they lost pay. So unless they were actively trying to bait you to use Veto because some convoluted combo to deal you maybe extra damage or maybe to make you waste your nullify, Veto basically shuts them down. So all around Veto's good. Downside is it doesn't cover trap or rune effects, but it covers the 2 more likely options. So 4 of Veto, it's a good nullify. Not for attacks, but for abilities. Then we have Angelic Descent, our last card that is not a trigger or a creature you've already seen. So Angelic Descent is our rune. It has no on-place cost, so you can just place it for free. And by paying 1 once per turn, you may normal summon an additional level 1 creature from your hand this turn. So, this is how you get 5 creatures from nothing. You can go the following route that I said earlier. Michael, use Michael to draw a card, doesn't matter what you summon. Then use Call to Arms, hopefully see another Michael, use that Michael's effect to draw a card, call another creature, and then by paying 1 with Angelic Descent, you can summon another creature. So by paying 2 and pretty much ditching at least 3 cards from your hand, or technically it would be Michael, Call to Arms, rune, other card. So okay, by ditching 4 cards from your hand, you would basically be able to get a board, which is still good. Ditching 4 cards from hand to get a board is a very good skill, so... especially because you get like 2 of those cards back from the 2 Michaels. All around Descent's really good. Like even if you only use it for like level 1 rush to do with charity, it's still a pretty good card nonetheless. So it works with rushes and it works with supporting Michael to get a board from nowhere. All around a nice rune. I like it. 4 of. Then we have our trigger lineup. We run 3 damage triggers because damage triggers are helpful. If the 5 creatures attacking you was not enough to push you to 10 damage, the damage triggers will do the job for you. The draw triggers. Gets the hand cards to replenish the hand after you kind of gone through the all-out rush, because I tell you, you lose creatures very quickly in this song, and you will probably see through all of them really quickly. So the draw triggers help get the remaining ones out of the song when they're buried deep within it, and we run 2 of those. And then the heal trigger, there for recovery. I have real bias towards this thing. I hate this card because of what it's done to me, because this heal trigger, when I was playing the match that will hopefully go up soon, the Hayate versus Kyoshi matchup, I knew Hayate wasn't going to win. Unfortunately, she didn't, and that was a misplay on my part, and I still have a lot of salt towards that, towards myself. But the heal trigger for Michael did not need to come down 3 times to recover damage. It would have won without the heal triggers. I have spite towards this card now, but whatever. As long as I just don't look at it, I don't care. So 5 heals. And then we have our SP version of Michael, which has his attack name called Divine Asunder. I don't know why I called it Divine Asunder. I just like the name Divine Asunder. I don't know why. I just like the word I just like the word asunder, so I guess I just wanted to call it Divine Asunder. But yeah, this is just what SP Michael looks like. Does anyone else get like an Egyptian feel looking at this thing? I don't know why I do. But that's pretty much it for the song. So I hope you guys enjoyed all around. Yeah, this is our lineup, by the way. You can see it, the 2 draw triggers, the 3 damage triggers, the 5 heal triggers, and everything else. So that's it for the song. I hope you guys enjoyed. All around, it's definitely fun to use. Again, my opinion being Saron is better just because I like getting out more creatures. Once more, Saron can do it easier and technically overall get more numbers out of it easier, while Lyrica gets them more, it gets the power more easily, except the thing is though they can get outpowered by Saron but at the same time, they do get less of a board, but they get more defensive power. So basically, between this and Saron, the easiest way to take it is Saron is more aggressive, Lyrica is more defensive. So take that as you will, whichever song you pick. It's good either way. I mean, if you don't pick Saron, you are dead to me, basically, if you pick this over Saron. But, you know, just pick Saron and we're good. You know, we're best friend, we're buddy for his life. Anyways, yeah, pretty much it for the song. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Go subscribe to the Thera official channel, turn on the bell notification. You can see when they upload. And I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to check us out. Bye.